Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the sixth part of our 1000 most expected questions series for CUET-PG English Literature exam. So those of you are preparing for CUET-PG 2026 English Literature exam, to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know all the important questions that have been already asked in different exams like CUET-PG, UGC NET JRF. And as you all know, we have already discussed about Old English period, Middle English period, Renaissance period, and who are the important authors and what are the important works they have written in that time period. All of them we have already discussed. And in this session, we will discuss some of the important periodicals, newspapers of early 18th century, and what are the important novels that have been written in the mid 18th century, and what are the important other works that have written in that time period. All of them we will discuss in our today's session. So watch this video till the end to know all the important questions that are very important from the perspective of your exam. And without further delay, let's begin the session. The first question of today's session is, what was the first British daily newspaper? In the early 18th century, there were many newspapers and periodicals started. And the first British newspaper was started in the year 1702. The first British newspaper was the Daily Courant. The Daily Courant was the first British newspaper which started in the year 1702. The second question is, the periodical The Spectator started in which year? The periodical The Spectator, which is started by Joseph Addison and Richard Steele, and this periodical is started from the year 1711. From the year 1711, the periodical The Spectator started. The third question is, who started the periodical The Review? The periodical The Review was also one of the most important periodicals of early 18th century, and the periodical The Review was started by Daniel Defoe. Daniel Defoe started this periodical, and this periodical existed from the year 1704 to 13. The fourth question is, who called sentimental tragedies as street tragedies? In the mid 18th century, there were the emergence of sentimental tragedies, and there was one person who called these sentimental tragedies as street tragedies, and the person was Nicholas Rowe. Nicholas Rowe called these sentimental tragedies as street tragedies. The fifth question is, who is known as the father of English novels? We all know English novels started from with Samuel Richardson Pamela, which is an epistolary novel, and the father of English novel was Henry Fielding. Henry Fielding was known as father of English novels. The sixth question is, what are the two important precursor novels by Daniel Defoe? We all know Daniel Defoe wrote many important works like Robinson Crusoe, Jack Wilton, and he also wrote the two important precursor novels in which he deals with two female precursor characters. And this important precursor novel by Daniel Defoe are Moll Flanders, which published in the year 1722, and Roxana, or The Fortunate Mistress, which published in the year 1724. And these are the two important precursor novels by Daniel Defoe. The seventh question is, Robinson Crusoe is based on the real life experience of Robinson Crusoe, which is the most important work by Daniel Defoe, and this work is published in the year 1719, and in this work he described the journey of a real life person, and the person was Alexander Selkirk. In the work Robinson Crusoe, Daniel Defoe depicted the real life experience of a captain, and it was Alexander Selkirk. There were many later adaptations of this work Robinson Crusoe, and it was James Coetzee who wrote the work for Derek Walcott wrote the work Pantomime. These are the two important adaptations of Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. The eighth question is, Jonathan Swift's The Battle of the Books published in which year? Jonathan Swift's The Battle of the Book was published with his another work, A Tale of a Tub, and these works are published in the year 1704. In the year 1704, Jonathan Swift published two important works, and these works are The Battle of the Books and A Tale of a Tub. The ninth question is, who said, "What a genius I had when I wrote this work"? And this quote is said by one of the most important essayists of early 18th century, and this quote is said by Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift, in his work A Tale of a Tub, he said that what a genius I had when I wrote this book. And this book is A Tale of a Tub, is published in the year 1704. The 10th question is, who used the pseudonym Isaac Bickerstaff? Isaac Bickerstaff was a pseudonym, and it was used by one of the most important periodical writers, Richard Steele. Richard Steele used this pseudonym Isaac Bickerstaff in his writing. The 11th question is, Jonathan Swift's Gulliver Travels is divided into how many parts? We all know Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, which is published in the year 1726, and this work is divided into four parts. The first part of this work is Lilliput, and the second part of this work is Brobdin Nag, and the third part is the Laputa, and the fourth part is Poems on the Land of Horses. The 12th question is, who wrote the blank verse tragedy Cato? Blank verse tragedy Cato is written by one of the essayists of early 18th century, and the writer of the blank verse tragedy Cato is Joseph Addison. Joseph Addison wrote this blank verse tragedy Cato in the year 1713. And he has also written one of the comedy at that time period, which is The Drummer, which published in the year 1716. The 13th question is, which book is subtitled as A Satire Against Sedition? A Satire Against Sedition is the subtitle of John Dryden's one of the most important work, and the work is The Medal. John Dryden's The Medal, which is published in the year 1682, and the subtitle of this work is A Satire Against Sedition. The 14th question is, who are the members of spectator clubs? In the early 18th century, there were many clubs, and there were many important members of these clubs who are existed in different essays of different essays. And the important members of spectator clubs are Sir Roger de Coverley, Mr. Spectator, Sir Andrew Freeport, Captain Sentry, and Will Honeycomb. These are the important members of the spectator club, which have already asked in many exams. In the exam of CUET-PG 2023, which I gave my CUET-PG exam in the year 2023, and that time the question is asked, Sir Roger de Coverley was the member of which club? And it was Spectator Club. Sir Roger de Coverley was a member of Spectator Club. The 15th question is, who wrote the essay Pleasure of Imagination? The essay Pleasure of Imagination is the most important essay of early 18th century, and this essay is written by Joseph Addison. The 16th question is, who wrote the work The History of the Declines and Fall of Roman Empire? The History of the Decline and Fall of Roman Empire is one of the most important work of mid 18th century, and this work is written by Edward Gibbon. Edward Gibbon has written this work in the year 1776. The 17th question is, Dr. Samuel Johnson Dictionary is published in which year? We all know there were many dictionaries that have been published in different time periods, and it was Dr. Samuel Johnson who also published a dictionary, and the dictionary was published in the year 1755. The 18th question is how many prefaces are there in Dr. Samuel Johnson's Life of Poets? Dr. Samuel Johnson's Life of English Poets was published in the year 1781, and in this work he depicted the biographies or prefaces of 52 writers. And the first writer of that lives of about biographies is Abraham Cowley, and the oldest writer of this work and oldest biography in this work is the biography of John Milton. The 19th question is what is the subtitle of the work Rasselas? The work Rasselas is also one of the most important works by Samuel Johnson, and the subtitle of this work is The Prince of Abyssinia. The Prince of Abyssinia is the subtitle of the work Rasselas by Dr. Samuel Johnson, and this work is published in the year 1759. The 20th question is love virtue she alone is free is a line from which work of John Milton? Love virtue she alone is free is a famous line from one of the masques of John Milton, and the line is taken from John Milton's work Comus. Question is what is the subtitle of Samuel Richardson's Pamela? Samuel Richardson's Pamela is the first novels in English literature which is published in the year 1740, and the subtitle of this work is Virtue Rewarded. Virtue Rewarded is the subtitle of Samuel Richardson's first novel Pamela, and the novel is published in the year 1740. The 22nd question is which work of Henry Fielding is considered as a comic epic in prose? One of the famous work of Henry Fielding is considered as a comic epic in prose, and the work is Joseph Andrews. Sir Henry Fielding's work Joseph Andrews, which is published in the year 1742, is considered as a comic epic in prose. And the 23rd question is in which work the character Blifil and Sophia appears in? The character Blifil and Sophia are the two important characters by Henry Fielding, and these characters appear in the work Tom Jones. In the work Tom Jones, which is published in the year 1749, and in this work the character Blifil and Sophia appear. The 24th question is the first organized detective police force in Britain is known as. In the 18th century, the first time of the police force came into existence, and it was started in Britain, and the police force is known as Bow Street Runners. Bow Street Runners are the first British police force which started in early 18th century. The 25th question is who wrote the work Female Quixote? The work Female Quixote took the inspiration from Don Quixote by Cervantes, and the work Female Quixote is written by Charlotte Lennox. These are the some of the important questions of 17th century prose that have been already asked in different exams. So those of you are preparing for CUET-PG 2026 English Literature exam, do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know all the important questions that have already asked in your exam. Thank you everyone for watching this video.